Hi, Chopper Pete here. Ollie is away today as he's taking a full weekend of intense training for QuizzleMania 2000's epic tag team turmoil event against Fightful, Wrestling with Regret, and Going in Raw. We'll check in with him later in the video and see how he's getting on. It seems to be a running joke at this point about Vince McMahon's 3-week pushes, his lack of faith in building new stars, and continuing to patch up the shoddy ratings with nostalgia cameos and new gimmicks. Hello, Raw Underground. But somehow, some way, he's outdone himself this time, because it's not a 3-week push, it's not even a 2-week push, it's barely even a 1-week push, it's like half a push. A purr, if you will. Mustafa Ali returned to WWE programming 3 weeks ago on Raw, picking up the win alongside Ricochet and Cedric Alexander against the Hurt Business, pitting MVP. After he'd been absent for several months and had reportedly been the frontrunner to be SmackDown's mysterious hacker, it seemed the future was bright for Ali. Just kidding though, because the week after his momentum-building return, he submitted to Bobby Lashley's Full Nelson. It's just a little tapped out, it's still good. And it doesn't stop there, because Ali wasn't featured on this week's Raw, he was on Main Event instead. All 3 viewers of Main Event, yes, that is still a show that exists, saw Ali come up short against Riddick Moss. It's just a little buried, it's still good. Unless this is playing into some epic story that us mere mortals can't comprehend right now, it looks like Big Vinny M has given up on Mustafa Ali once again. This is not the first time he's given up on pushing Ali, though this time it can barely even be called a push. When Ali first came up to the main roster, he pinned then WWE champion Daniel Bryan. Remember that? Remember when we were all excited for it? His push is gone. I know. This has come after former WWE star Mike Bennett, formerly Mike Kanellis, called out WWE for having someone such as Ali on their roster and not making him a top guy. I've gotta say, it's hard to disagree with him. But it's not just problems with who to push that's the talking point in WWE these days, as they can barely manage to scrape together a TV show at all. After weeks of reports of backstage chaos at WWE tapings and shows being rewritten on the fly, and an incredible amount of stress for everybody involved, it doesn't show any signs of stopping. After the latest Raw tapings debacle, where the entire shows had to be rewritten while the first show was being taped, the problems continued into the following day for the SmackDown tapings on Tuesday. WWE were originally scheduled to tape 2 episodes of SmackDown on Tuesday that would air tonight and next Friday. But there were some issues that prevented that, and instead only 1 episode was taped. Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio explained, "Things happened, I don't know if it was test related or what. There were key people on SmackDown that were scripted into the show, and the show ended up having the script torn apart and redone anyways as Raw was. On late Monday night, they made the call to only tape 1 SmackDown show instead of 2 on Tuesday. It was a complete mess on Tuesday. This now means that WWE has had to shunt around its taping schedule, recording NXT on Wednesday the 12th and recording SmackDown and Raw on Thursday the 13th. That will air Friday the 14th and Monday the 17th respectively. This then leaves the Friday the 21st episode of SmackDown up in the air, and it's not yet known when they'll be able to tape the show, as it was supposed to be taped alongside the Monday the 17th episode of Raw. But perhaps WWE's new president can whip them into shape." Thank you for being an awesome pledge hammer on Patreon, WrestleTalk's personal ring announcer Rodrigo Benitez, and no one names their kid this anymore, Larry. On January 30th this year, which genuinely feels like it could have been about 2 years ago, WWE announced the firings of WWE co-presidents Michelle Wilson and George Barrios, who'd been with the company for a combined 17 million years. In their place, the Chronicles of Frank Riddick had been named as temporary president of WWE. Now the company have hired a more permanent president, and his name is Nick Khan. Khan, like Tony Khan, the AEW president. You can't make this up, can you? Nick Khan is WWE's new president and chief financial officer, and in WWE's latest SEC filing, there have been a few contract details revealed. Khan has signed on for a 5-year deal with WWE, however the employment is on an at-will basis, which means he can be fired or choose to leave at any time for any reason. Sounds secure, can't wait for him to be released after his 3-week push. Khan's base salary is $1.2 million per year, with an additional sign-on bonus of $5 million. Remember when WWE just had to release all those people in April? Their hands were tied, they had no choice, right? On top of this, Khan is also gifted $15 million worth of Class A common stock. I don't know what Class A stock is, but if it's anything like the other Class A stuff I've tried, it must be pretty good. Speaking of Class A, something that's Class A bullshit is Adam Cole versus Pat McAfee. After their shoot argument on McAfee's podcast, the angle blew up on NXT this week as Pat turned full heel and booted Cole in the head as Triple H got very, very mad. I don't think anyone wanted this, but it's not stopping because at TakeOver Triple X Welcome to the Xander Zone, WWE themselves have officially announced it's going to be Adam Cole versus Pat McAfee. If anyone could make Pat look good, it's probably Adam Cole. Good luck, buddy. But it does seem that angle helped NXT in the ratings this week, at least a little bit, because NXT's viewership increased by 46,000 viewers, up to an average of 753,000 for the show. However, compared to AEW Dynamite, that's chump change, as their show increased by 128,000 viewers for an average of 901,000 viewers for this week's show. This is the first time that AEW has hit an average of 900,000 viewers since No Fans shows began, the only exception being the very first No Fans show in March. Of course, it's all about the demos, and AEW scored a 0.36 rating in the 18 to 49 demo, while NXT scored a 0.18. One of the segments from this week's high-scoring Dynamite was a match between Sammy Guevara and Matt Hardy, where Hardy was busted open hard way when Guevara threw a chair at his face, requiring 13 stitches in Hardy's head. There were several people who were not happy about this, including Hardy himself and his wife Rebby, who both tweeted angry responses. Matt called the situation infuriating and called Guevara a dumbass goof and a cocky, weird, reckless little piece of shit. Pretty on the nose, that one. According to Brian Alvarez on Wrestling Observer Radio, this brought Guevara some backstage heat, and when he came back through the curtain, he received a stern talking to. However, this all came about because Guevara reportedly used the wrong chair. According to Alvarez on Wrestling Observer Radio, there were two chairs at ringside, one of which was a traditional folding chair. Guevara was supposed to take that chair, Hardy would take the hands up to take the impact, and there would be no blood. After Guevara couldn't find the chair he was supposed to use, he picked up the other chair, panicked, and threw it anyway. It's worth noting that this is not the first time it's been reported that a different chair was supposed to have been used after a chair spot went wrong in AEW, as it also happened with Shawn Spears' debut, where he smashed the chair over Cody's head, which was supposedly meant to be a gimmicked chair. One of the other segments from Dynamite saw Eric Bischoff return to wrestling to oversee Chris Jericho and Orange Cassidy's debate. But will he be coming back again? AEW has been widely praised for the way it used Bischoff on this week's show, not overshadowing Jericho and Cassidy, but simply adding to the segment. This was the first time Bischoff had appeared on a wrestling show on TNT since the WCW days. For anyone hoping to see more of Eric Bischoff on AEW, however, you may be disappointed, as PW Insider is reporting that the appearance was very much a one-off, and that Bischoff has not signed any form of contract as of me saying this. There's every chance the positive reaction to Bischoff's appearance could lead to some kind of deal between himself and AEW, but for now, 'twas just the one and done. One of the biggest issues of not being able to have fans in attendance is that it's quite hard to gauge exactly how over someone is, as you don't get to see the organic reaction the wrestler gets. Unless of course you have NXT star Rick Boogs in the crowd.
You are not my special mystery guest tonight.
Are you nuts?
AEW, being the smart people that they are reportedly biding their time on mega pushes, as they don't want any of their biggest stars to miss out on genuine crowd reactions when they're pushed. Dave Meltzer reports that the promotion is very aware of the issues WWE has faced when trying to push current WWE champion Drew McIntyre, who had the misfortune of winning the belt at WrestleMania 36, which came just weeks after WWE was no longer able to have fans in attendance. So when fans are able to return to AEW shows, they could very well be in for some amazing booking. Unfortunately, fans haven't been so thrilled with all of AEW's booking lately. The most consistently criticized aspect of AEW has been the way the promotion has booked its women's division, especially as one of the things Cody and wife Brandi Rhodes promised when the promotion was created was that female wrestlers would get equal pay and equal opportunities. While the pay may be equal, the opportunities certainly haven't been, and it appears the criticism was too much for Brandi, who has now deleted her Twitter account. There's no official word as to why this has happened, but it may well be due to the backlash she's received on Twitter following the announcement of AEW Heel's new subscription service for female wrestling fans. The service costs around $4 a month with a yearly fee of $49 and gives the fans the opportunity to speak to and engage with AEW's female talents. A lot of people have come out in support of Brandi, accusing other fans of bullying her over this decision. Now seems like a good time to remind everyone that even if you disagree with AEW putting a paywall behind their female-focused platform, which personally I do, it's never okay to bully the person for the decision. Hopefully, Brandi is doing okay, and that the deletion of her account was not the result of her getting overwhelmed with online abuse. Support each other, guys. Remember that. But now, onto something much lighter. How's Ollie getting on with his QuizzleMania training?
Ollie, it's Tag Team QuizzleMania. It's QuizzleMania 2000. Yep, Mantar, the Mantar movement. It's coming. It's going full steam. And like, I need you, man. I need you to like, because you don't have the greatest QuizzleMania record. Like, not downplaying you, because you're actually really good and you're really smart. You've just got a bit of a bad QuizzleMania record, right?
Yeah, I think what I've been missing is you. That's like, okay. When I look back at all the past QuizzleManias, I keep thinking, if only I did what Luke did. And, you know, I could train, I could read up, I could do mnemonics and little memory games to remember all of this information. Or I thought I could use you. It's a win-win.
That's absolutely fine, mate. Yeah, and we can do this to kind of beat and smite Sean Ross Sapp. So what I've got is I've got a collection of wrestlers. I just want you to identify them, okay? This is pretty good. This is like your day-to-day job, right? So yeah, wrestlers going to come on the screen, and I need you to identify them, okay? So I'm going to start off with an easy one. Okay?
Sure. Eric Rowan. Oh, God damn it.
No. No, it's okay. We'll try again.
It's because I just went with the first thing that came into my head.
No, it's okay.
Because it was Luke Harper.
Yeah. No. Here's the next one, okay?
I am just seeing. Is it a trick question? Is it the crowd?
Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's do a really, really easy one, okay? All right, really easy one. Who's this?
My man Mentor. Chalk it up. I'm on the board.
No. It's not. No. That is Hulk Hogan.
Oh.
You see it now?
Yeah, let me write that down.
Yeah. Let's see if that training has prepared you for this one. Who's this fella?
Oh, he's one of the big ones, isn't he? He's one of the guys from the. Is it The Rock?
No, close. Okay, right. Well, this one's another easy one. He's on Raw a lot at the moment. Who's this fella? We review Raw, man.
Is it Ric Flair?
That is Ric Flair.
I was gonna say Charlotte because I was thinking Flair.
Yeah,
and then he said Charlotte. Okay.
I thought you might get distracted by the rope. I've got one more for you, man. Right. Okay. And you've kind of already prepared yourself for this one.
I've got momentum.
Who's this fella?
Giant Gonzalez.
Head on over to Cineworld's YouTube channel by pressing the button beside me and subscribe in advance of the newest What's On at Cineworld show featuring our very own Laurie Blake and Luke Owen. Press the videos to the right to find out more about WWE being high on a new NXT star and to check out Louis Dangore's awesome interview with Tyler Breeze and Sean Spears. It's really cool. I've been Chopper Pete Quinnell, and that was wrestling.